farm in dresses. I farm in dresses as a statement, not only for myself, but for my children and for this patriarchal industry to know that I am here to stay. I farm in dresses for great women like my great-grandmother, Lady Christina Motswenyane, who grew up a sharecropper and died as a subsistence farmer. But in 1934, she invested in a piece of land in Warminster, just outside Pretoria, with the hope that her family was going to grow into commercial farming. Unfortunately for us, the apartheid government forcefully removed my family from that land soon after to make way for a military base. 94 came with its own challenges and opportunities for young women like myself to not only be limited to plowing the land or working the land physically in the fields, but we also participate in other more meaningful roles across the value chain. And challenges that changed the face of many things in our agri-food system. What is wrong with this picture? Especially that strawberry there in the middle. Oops. What about these peppers? What is so wrong with them? I planted them myself. Who of us goes into a supermarket and think about the farmer? Think about us before you pick up that vegetable, that fruit, and wonder, what could have gone into creating that magnificent-looking product on the shelf. This is what we have to go through to get that product to get to you in that way. We have to make sure that the color is right, the diameter is right. If not, you're not going to have that perfect-looking burger on your table. Packaging. It was also making life very difficult for us. Simple thing like a cherry tomato. Does it have the right size? The right color? Because if the size is not right, they're not going to be able to stack it up on top of each other. And at what cost? A farmer looks at the truck coming in to load those peppers, crosses their fingers, and hope that none of that crate is going to be rejected. At times, a whole truckload gets rejected. What are we doing? We're in Africa, right? We're in South Africa. Why this European approach to dealing with the current challenges that the country is facing? 1 in 4 of us goes to bed hungry. That's what the new dawn has brought us. This translates to 9 million tons of food being thrown away every single year across the entire supply chain. Translates to 61.5 billion rand, which is, 10,517 of those babies every single year. They're just toys, right? Who cares? But yet our constitution says we all have the right to nutritional food. 94 brought some of those challenges. The face of poverty has changed. From that picture on the left, how we used to know it, to now being full, but nutritionally empty. Poor households in this country have good access to poor food and bad access to good quality nutritional food. Let's just imagine for a second a parallel system, the alternative, that us farmers on the ground are going for. Imagine just vegetables that didn't have to go into packaging or packaged material, sold loosely. All of us having access to them. not pre-packed. If all I have is 2 rands and you can buy me a single carrot, why can't it just be weighed? And I go and do that. I made an example earlier with strawberries, because my great-grandmother, even my grandmother, died without having tasted one. That's how exclusive our food system is in this country. Made with Rural is a platform that I founded in 2016, and that's where I got a shock of my life. I thought it was going to be easy peasy, sell vegetables, make my markup, make my money, farm some of it. Whatever I couldn't farm, I will source from other farmers. Boom, we're gone. It was a different reality on the ground. So how the Made with Rural model is designed, it is a cluster farming model that focuses on small and medium-scale growers to give them access to markets. Markets, obviously, currently, as they stand in the country, are very dictatorial. We price takers, currently, most of the small growers. We're very dependent in this country at the moment to source food from a handful of commercial farmers. And a small, or as we call them in the industry, the top 5 retailers that determine how the food must look like and how much they must sell for. If we were to do things differently and pay attention to the small guy, like the rest of the continent is doing, small-scale farmers in the rest of the continent are the backbone of those economies. But in South Africa, it's very different. We look down upon that mama on the side of the street selling those vegetables, but yet they make such key decisions for the communities in which they sell to. They're going to sell us starchy vegetables simply because they don't have the resources to give us a variety of food. You will not get like a salad pack on the side of a road, a cucumber and a strawberry, because it doesn't have a long shelf life. As farmers, we came together, we formed an organization called FUSA, Farmers United of South Africa, where we decided enough was enough. Our people need to have access to good quality food, and we took it upon ourselves to take food closer to the people. You and I should know that the cost of food at the moment in this country just keeps shooting up. Said we're going to do it our way, parallel to the current system, because that system was never designed with the smallholder farmer in mind. So we spent a lot of time since 2016 to about end of last year trying to fit as square pegs in round holes, and that just didn't work. We'll send our product to the fresh produce market. In a day, if you're lucky, you get your price. If nothing gets sold, the second day, price goes down. On the third day, you're asked to come and collect your produce, or it gets dumped. The Made with Rural model says, here we are, we organized ourselves, a hub around a cluster in a place where these farmers are encouraged to buy together as a group and to also sell as a group. We're selling from one basket, and in that way, we spread the risk and we can also protect ourselves and each other. When a customer comes, they give an offtake agreement to a cluster. In that way, we know if it's 10 tons of tomatoes to be delivered per week for you to have that wonderful looking burger, only 60% of what you grow is going to meet the spec. What then is going to happen to the 40%? Because we have to strike that balance as well. The farmer needs to stay in business. So then the alternative for the 40% has been going direct to the people and selling directly through different mediums. One of them being an app that was created to say, even for that mama by the side of the road, she can then be able to order a pepper on demand or a cucumber, instead of only being limited to selling potatoes, onions, tomatoes, apples, and bananas. So once the app receives the notification, sends it out to the people on the ground, the farmers, or to one of our hubs, and then we aggregate the product that way. The truck goes, collects, and then it sends the produce to one of our outlets or places where we're tapping into, where people like you and me can go and receive their baskets. That's one of the produce there, where different farmers are coming together, whether be it raw honey, that is, in most cases, the beehives are placed on the different farms, and then they come, they harvest the honey and package it beautifully for you. Peanut butter, some of the farmers in the network will grow the groundnuts that are then collected by another group that processes them. We have also chicken farmers, vegetable farmers, a whole range of them on the platform. Those are some of the baskets, how they look like. And ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you now, this is what South Africa should be, the direction where we should be headed in. We don't really need to be going into retail, and at the same time, we're perpetuating the current, poverty that is happening in our country, because the retailers are the ones that determines the price. They are the ones that determines the look. In essence, they are the ones who decides who gets to eat and who doesn't in this beautiful country of ours. Thank you.